What's up guys, welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/ProRevenge. Alright, this story's called, Accuse Me of Stealing? I'll Ruin Your Business and Life. This little story of revenge is about how I got even with a former boss and how I destroyed his and his business partner's life in the process. Many years ago, I worked at an electronics repair store that will not be named. It was the only one in our smallish town, so everyone came here. I worked my way up from lowly tech to store manager in roughly 6 months. A few months after I made store manager, one of the owners, who we will call Dennis, insisted on bringing his nephew in as a part-time employee. Don't get ahead of me, Redditors. I initially didn't have any issues with the kid. He had come to the store on multiple occasions and we would all sit around in the back and talk. So again, I had no issues with bringing him on part-time. For a good month or two, the kid, who we will call Kevin, busted his behind. Did everything right. He could solder an HDMI port on a PS4 in minutes. One less thing for me to do. Profits for the store were skyrocketing, and things seemed rather fine from where I was standing. I was due to make a fairly large bonus that year as long as the store kept turning the amount of money it was turning. I figured at this time we could make Kevin our assistant manager, and I could go back to doing paperwork, inventory orders and such, and leave the running of things to him. Well, mistakes were definitely made. I had a habit of writing down my login pin because Dennis and his business partner Jay were idiots and wanted the pin to be 9,347,893,247,349 digits long. These pins were required to access everything from sales data to the cash register and more. Anyway, around the time that I was turning over the majority of stuff to Kevin to do, I also started taking classes at the local university. So again, me being the idiot that I was, would leave to go to class before coming back and finishing my shift. Dennis and Jay were fine with this as long as I left someone competent in charge. Fast forward to the end of the month when accounts receivable numbers were run, and wouldn't you know it, we were short by thousands that month. I discussed everything with Dennis and Jay, and we assumed it was a computer glitch. There was no way after almost a year of working there that the numbers were off. I had never had this happen before. The next month, we were once again off. It was around this time that Dennis and Jay came to me and started accusing me of stealing from them. They pointed out all of the days that the numbers didn't match up and saw that I was always closing that night. When I tried to explain to them that I was in class in those days, when the money came up missing and suggested that they look at Kevin, Dennis blew his top. He said how dare I accuse his nephew of anything, that it was my PIN used to access the register, etc. Needless to say, I was fired. Luckily, they didn't call the cops because, in Jay's words, I had made them a boatload of money. Plan. A couple of years had passed since I was working there. I graduated college with a degree in business and had moved on with my life, or so I thought. One night while I was out at the store, I heard from behind me, "Yo, thief!" As I turn around, I see Kevin and Dennis with a poo-eating grin on their faces. I shrug it off and walk away, continuing to hear their childish taunts. While in my car, I began to formulate a plan. I was going to crush these mother lovers no matter how long it took. It took me 2 months of planning, but I finally figured out that I would use my social engineering skills and my business savvy to completely crash their business. I broke the HDMI port on my PS4 on purpose and took it in to have it fixed. Kevin and a girl that had started there a few weeks earlier were the only two working. "Hey, welcome to such and such." "Oh, it's you, thief. What can I help you with?" First off, you can stop calling that. You and I both know it's bullcrap. "Sorry, dude. Dennis told me to call you that. I'm sorry how everything went down. What can I help you with?" "My HDMI port broke. Do you guys still repair them?" "Yeah, we still repair them. It's $115. Damn, you guys went up in price? Good on you. So, how's everything been since I left?" "You mean since you were fired for stealing?" "Yeah, whatever. We both know that's bullcrap." I knew Kevin was trying to impress the girl, but didn't care at that minute. We'll come back to her. As I glanced glanced around, I saw that they had added some new things to the store, including OtterBox cases and such. Whoa, that's new. How did you guys manage to get in with OtterBox? Oh, we didn't. They kept turning us down, so I found a Chinese distro. We get them for $5 and we sell them for $30. Me thinking to myself, this dude loves to blab. I need him to keep it up. So, how much of the price has gone up on other things? Oh, quite a bit actually. You thought you were turning the store a profit? Let me show you something. He showed me their new price list, which was insane on the pricing and also a big mistake. Revenge is mine. I never believed in ripping anyone off, so I always convinced Dennis and Jay our pricing was fair and that they didn't need to charge a lot for repairs. Since they were the only game in town, they had everyone by the balls. After the work was finished, I said goodbye and made sure to wave to the girl as I walked out. This is when my plan really went into motion. I had everything I needed to crush these mother lovers, all except a building. The next day, I looked around for a location to begin to dismantle their monopolistic hold on this town. As luck would have it, a location right across the street from their store was coming up for rent. I quickly signed the lease and began to distribute flyers letting the town know about our coming grand opening. On the flyer, I was offering 90% off the first repair. Basically, I was doing the work for free, just all they had to do was pay the part price. Opening day comes and I have 60 people there to get repairs, ranging from iPhone screen repairs to simple PC tune-ups. This went on like this for months. Sure, I was taking a loss on the building rent, but this being a small-ish town, the rent was easily manageable. After things started to settle down and business became steady, Dennis and Jay started losing massive business due to the new guy in town. They still hadn't realized it was me. Jane walked in as I was closing up shop. Jane, if you recall, was the girl who worked for Dennis that Kevin was trying to hit on. Apparently, she had been let go that night and was looking for another job. I immediately gave her the job because she knew her stuff. I asked her what all happened over there, and she said everything has gone to crap and the store has been losing tens of thousands since this place opened, and that she would have left sooner if she didn't need the job. Kevin apparently really liked her and couldn't keep his hands to himself. A month after Jane came in, Dennis and Jay came in to see who their new competition was. As they walked in, I greeted them as I do any customer. Welcome to New Guy's Electronic Repair. How can I help you?
Does the owner know he hired a thief?
Oh, I'm sure he knows you're full of crap on that one.
Get me your manager, you piece of crap thief.
Sir, I am the manager. How can I help you?
Well, is the owner here?
Yes, sir, he is.
Good, then go get him, so that I can tell him what a thief you are.
Sure, 1 minute. I walk into the back and start talking to Jay. We both enjoy a laugh because she overheard this dude. I walk out the back and look at Dennis. How can I help you?
You can stop playing games and get me your owner.
Pointing to the sign behind me. Yeah, that's me. How can I help you?
You're the one that has been taking all of our business?
Yep, you called me a thief when you knew all along it was your piece of crap nephew that was stealing from you. I made it my life's mission to destroy you. The day you and Kevin called me a thief in the store, you couldn't leave well enough alone.
You mean to tell me that this is his fault?
Looking at Dennis. Yep, and yours as well. You had a chance to stick up for me and didn't. If I can't assist you gentlemen with a repair or anything, I kindly ask that you leave my store.
Screw you! You haven't heard the end of us.
This quite literally cracked me up, the dude trying to talk tough. I laughed as they stormed out of my store. About this time, Jane came from out of the back area and dropped her phone. I bent down to pick it up and noticed that it was the fake OtterBoxes that the other store was selling. I made an anonymous tip to OtterBox regarding them selling counterfeits. Boy, let me tell you, OtterBox doesn't frickin' play. Within a week, the other store was raided. Kevin, Dennis, and Jay were all arrested for selling counterfeit items and were sued into bankruptcy. As for Jane and I, well, we just welcomed our first child into the world and have been married for a year and a half. If you're reading this, Kevin, little frickin' thief, not only did I cost you and your uncle everything, but I also took your woman. Go suck a penis.
Anyone?
Cannot believe that I have to add this here because some people cannot read between the lines. Otterbox is the one who got them raided by the police. Otterbox doesn't do the raiding. Damn, OP, you got them good. Badass that you and Jane ended up together. Kind of predictable though, so I'm just kidding. But anyway, good stuff, man. This is capitalism at its finest. Some people may not like it because one guy went out of business, but they were crappy people. So, hey man, just let the good stuff happen. Even if the good stuff is bad stuff happening to bad people. Alright, this story's called, Who Were You on the Phone With? What? This happened so many moons ago, around 12,410, or about 34 years. I thought a moon referred to a moon cycle, so like 28 days, it doesn't matter. I mean, it predates cell phones, internet, yeah, back in those days. Everyone had a phone hooked to a wall. You weren't walking around with a device or phone permanently pressed to your ear or hip pocket. You were chained like a prisoner to the wall. My wife and I lived in an upstairs apartment of a house. We had 2 small children at the time, very young still. I was in the military at the time. The basement apartment always seemed to attract the strangest people. You know the type you go out of your way to avoid? I mean, seriously, avoid. Don't want people to know you know them. Avoid. Yeah, you know the type. This really freaky couple decided to move out, and the girlfriend decided to just hand the lease over to her sister and boyfriend. We didn't know it at the time, but her sister was toxic. I mean, stick your hand in a full septic tank, eat what you fish out toxic. Now, I worked days and they worked alternating nights at some drug rehab halfway house or something. So, every night one of them would be working. On the first night they moved in, my wife and I put the kids in bed and shortly after went to bed ourselves. I had to be up around 5 a.m. to get to the base early morning exercise stuff. The go you chicken fat... What? The go you chicken fat go stuff for all you older boomers out there. Okay, I gotta figure this out. The go you chicken fat... The go you chicken fat go stuff for all you I don't get it then work. All of a sudden around 11 p.m. the phone in their apartment starts to ring loud, like warehouse phone loud. This thing woke both of us up and the kids. So now we are all wide awake. The phone rang for 30 minutes before the boyfriend picked it up. The rest of the night we could hear him talking very loudly into the phone. He was saying things that I didn't want to know, personal things that nobody wants to know. Yuck! The next night, we get the kids in bed, we go to bed. We are exhausted from the lack of sleep the night before. At 11 p.m., the downstairs phone rings and it rang for another 30 minutes before she picked it up. For the rest of the night, we heard her on the phone. These people had one volume, 11. Shout out to Spinal Tap fans. I think these 2 people were the start of the 1-900 phone calls. Again, yuck! All night, every night, for about 2 weeks. There were a few nights that the phone would ring all night long and never got picked up. We were all really tired, no sleep, cranky kids, neighbors that were made of the same stuff I find trailed on toilet paper before flushing. I started thinking, I have to find a way to stop this insanity. Now, I have a mechanical background. I have worked in construction, wiring, building repair, auto and truck repair. There had to be something I could do. Saturday rolls around and I'm in the backyard mowing the grass. Part of my lease agreement. I noticed 2 phone connection boxes on the side of the house. The gears in my brain start to formulate my revenge. After I mow the lawn, I open my toolbox and find a wire with 2 alligator clips. I trace the connection going to my phone first to experiment. I jump 2 wires together and check my phone. Dead, no tone. Ha! Gotcha now, you bastards. Just before we went to bed, I went outside and jumped the wires to their phone. Oh, it was peaceful. All night we slept. The kids slept. I dreamt sugar plums, unicorns, and fairies. Oh, sweet bliss. The next morning, we woke up rested. I removed the wire and we sat down to eat breakfast, and the girlfriend comes home and tromps down into their apartment. I mean, the entire house shook. She had a purpose. Suddenly, all hell broke loose. You could hear the door get kicked. She stomped her way through their apartment. I think she was foaming at the mouth like a rabid skunk. The conversation conversation went something like this. Girlfriend will be GF for Ghastly Freak, for all you Pokemon fans. Boyfriend will be Poor Soul. I won't capitalize. Just remember, volume 11.
Where is she? What the F are you doing all night?
What?
Just getting out of bed. You could tell by the area his voice echoed through the floorboards.
Who the hell were you talking to all night? I'll kill her!
What?
Don't you? What, me? I tried to call all night and the phone was busy. All night the phone was busy. Who the F were you on the phone with? All night long?
Nobody, babe.
Throwing the first of many objects, you could hear it crash against the wall.
Don't you dare, babe me, you a-hole. I want to know who else you're screwing. Who were you on the phone with?
This went on for a couple of hours. Crap was getting thrown, yelling, screaming. Words were getting used that would make a pig blush. I was desperately trying not to die laughing and wishing I had some popcorn. It was better than the old radio shows. Excitement, thrills, drama, everything. I think their voices are imprinted into the ceiling of that apartment. The boyfriend was finally able to find a way to get out and drive away, still in his underwear. Peace resumed for the rest of the day. I jumped their phone every night from then on. I slept well, still do. After a few months, they moved out, and you guessed it, another creepy family moved in. Sometimes I feel a little sorry for the poor boyfriend and what I did, but only for a nanosecond, and then I roll over laughing. Yeah, it was worth it. I did talk to him once before they moved out, and he said she threw one of her high heels so hard it stuck in the wall right next to his head. I never did tell him about the wire. So, if you're reading this, no, I am not sorry, and thanks for the good laugh that has lasted for years. I mean, I like this, but OP or fam could have at least asked them before they did that. Like, they could have asked them to quiet down. Probably wouldn't have worked, but, you know, just to get that out of the way for morale issues over. Regardless, cool story. I enjoy it when individuals use their mechanical expertise for the sake of cool stuff like this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.